Hey everybody, John here, Hot Rods in the Woods. A little sneak peeking happening here. If you didn't watch my video on building this engine, basically what I've got is a little small block Chevrolet 383 stroker, flat tops, about 7 thousandths in the hole, 64cc combustion chamber, 205 160s, 560 some odd lift cam, 108 lobe separation, I think, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, tunnel ram 2.4s, it made 542 on the dyno. But I had a little issue. I bought a timing cover that was a 2-piece. I'll bring the part of the cover over that I didn't throw away yet. I may have both halves, but the way this thing worked is the lip on the bottom, which is actually goes all the way to the oil pan front seal. They use a separate piece just with that part and a gasket against the block. Then a second piece, which is a flat cover that attaches to it with another gasket. Well, you're adding a whole nother surface for it to leak, and needless to say, it leaked. So I'm changing it out to a regular stamped cover. Now I could use this fine aluminum cover that I have. The problem with it is I have the wrong cam button to work with this thicker cover. So I can't use it. So I'll go back with another stamped one. Now, in order to do this and do it correctly, you have to pull the oil pan off, which is no big deal. I'm going to go ahead and pull it off, do it right. I'll show you what it looks like. Now you can see that there is a lip right here, and this lip is where the front seal of the oil pan goes. So it's pretty basic. You can use chrome ones. The one trick is to scuff this entire surface so that the gasket actually has something to seal. Otherwise, it's so slick that it won't seal properly. So I'll go ahead and do that here in a little bit. But right now I'm pulling off the oil pan. I'm gonna go ahead and get that off, and I'll show you what she looks like up underneath after, probably 1,000 miles. And we'll go from there. It's a pretty good little piece. It's turned out to be real dependable. I just don't like oil leaks, and it was right at the front, so of course it gets the cross member, it gets the straight axle. It only does it when it's running, when there's splash up there. So we got to get her fixed. Yes, I'm using a crescent wrench on my drain plug because I'm lazy. I don't want to go all the way back over there and get another wrench just for it. So I'll zap off the pan and get back with you in a minute. Okay, a couple things that I remembered because it's been a while. Number one, with this scatter shield, if you want to call it that, it's what we used to call them. There is an issue. Let me find the latch. If you go to pull the back 2 bolts on the oil pan, I don't know if you can see it up there. It's way in the back corner. See it up there behind the starter? Well, if you notice the front of the shield, you can easily drop that bolt inside that shield. And when you do, it becomes a bear because the bottom bolts for the shield are so close to this oil pan, you have to pull the transmission back in order to get that bolt out of there. So I use a piece of cardboard slid up in there. But for the other side, you need to take the oil filter off in order to do it. I got the bolt out and remembered before I dropped it, so I used a magnet. But just something to ponder when you're doing these things. Think ahead, because I actually did that the first time, and it ain't fun. It wasn't an oil pan bolt that I dropped in. I don't remember what it was, but I dropped a bolt in there. Fun stuff. So we're going to go ahead and yank the oil filter. just because I'm going to change the oil anyway. So we get the oil filter off. Then I've got the 2 front bolts and that one more next to the starter, and we'll get this pan out of here. So GoPro, stop recording. Ta-da. Just a little piece of cardboard. Saves a whole bunch of work. So what I basically did was just took a hunk of cardboard, cut a notch for around the bottom of the pan, slid it up in there, and then no bolts fall into bell housing. Because that can just be so frustrating, especially if you're trying to do it in a time crunch. Now, give you an idea of what's happening here. My wife is going to finish up the other seat. I have to make the brackets for it. I still have to do the new tilt front end assembly somehow. And I have until this coming Friday. Today is Saturday, the 6th? No, the 5th. Oh, back of the pan's loose. Now we'll pop the front for the first Cars and Coffee. So I want to be there. Now, I have never had this pan off inside the car because, of course, if you build it right, you shouldn't have to take it apart. Yeah. Say it. Say it. I know. I tried to do something that I thought would make it easier if I decided I didn't like this camshaft, and it came back and bit me. All right, so here comes the truth. I do not know. Oh, she loose. If this pan is coming out of here. It's never been out with the straight axle, so we'll see. And we're going to find out together. Oh, ding, there's the bolt. And there's that. And it will not. Well, that's just Marvy. So, I can drop the drag link. All right, we'll figure this out in a minute. It is a reusable oil pan gasket, so I could just pop it right back in there after the timing covers up. I'm going to take a real close look at doing that because that sure would save me a bunch of work. And these new Felpro silicone ones work really, really well. I know it's kind of a yay or nay deal, but there's a reason they make them that way now. Question is it so that I could use it twice? Or is it just to mess with me so I put it all together at least again? Well, by the time you see this video, I will have made up my decision. And I can tell you right now, I'm aiming in the direction of drop it down, put the timing cover on it, goop it, and send her right back up in. I can get it the entire gasket so I can inspect. I can wipe it down. These are shouldered, so it's not like you can over tighten. I can hit it with brake clean, clean it up. I think that's what I'm going to do. She's pretty inside. Let's get you up in there just for a second so you can see what it looks like. Anyway, she's a sweet little girl. All right, so we're doing a little window dressing here to get this gasket a little better. And I'm still up in here. I could very well end up doing it totally different. I don't know yet. We'll see. But if I tuck this up under there, like that, and then use a single edge razor blade just to get the silicone off the front. Obviously, we're going to use some more, so. And I'm not trying to do this like a patchwork quilt, guys, but the reality is, if I can reuse it and it doesn't leak, I win, right? And yes, if I screw it up and it does leak, then I get to do it twice, which will make me a professional at it. But she's not real bad. The gasket's never really been hot. It is. In other words, I haven't overheated it or anything. And I don't know. And like I said, I'll screw around with this for a bit and then probably change my mind and do it the way we should. But we'll see. You can see where I gooped it from the outside, hoping that I could get the leak cured for the last Hot Rod Power Tour, which I didn't make because the transmission went away. It's funny how when you rely on other people to do the work, they aren't always necessarily as good as you hope. That T56 was out of a 2004 GTO. Supposedly never had any problems, and I believe that could very well be true. I think most of the problem was the fact that I didn't know enough about them to understand the oiling system. So if you go back and watch my video, it's pretty darn important. Because that's one of those deals that if you don't know, it will come back to bite you. All right, there's that. Now we're going to put this back in there again. Like that. So I can scrape the rest of the gasket. So, a little bit of what's been going on around here. If you heard about the tornado in Selmer, Selmer's about 15 maybe. Came out just to look in here to get something to munch. I know, late night munching, that's why I'm a fat boy. And came back in screaming, oh my God, the barn is flooded. So I ran out, and of course, then what do? You go out there and you throw fans out and hope you can get stuff dried out. I did rent a mini excavator yesterday. Got it down about a foot in the back, cleaned up a little bunch more back there to eliminate a problem there. So hopefully we've got her fixed. Just put a little something in there just to get that to wick away from the cover. Now, the question is, can I dry fit this in there and get it on the seal? I don't know what I'm doing. If I get it in one side, like that, can I roll it around? Get it in there. The answer is yes, I can. Points to ponder. All right, so we're going to fiddle with this for a little while, and I'll get back with you. You really don't want to watch this. I still am not deciding. If I pull the drag link, I don't know that it's going to clear either because of the deep sump pan and the size of that. So then I'd have to pull off the other steering link. But I guess in order to do it right, that's what needs to happen. So let's just do it. All right, guys. There's my decision. I'm going to rip the front end apart and pull the pan. Well, okay. I went ahead and did it. I pulled the oil pan off, put the new cover on. Nothing magic about that. There's the old gasket. And there's the oil pan, so I ain't bullshitting you. Pan looks great inside. Glad I pulled it. There's a couple little pieces of silicone I dropped in there. But I do want to say one thing. It's sad when quality control gets so bad that this magic, and I know they're cheap, but it's a Spectre chrome timing cover. Nothing magic about it. Comes with a socket and 12-point bolts so that they clear better. And wouldn't you know it, that the socket barely fits. So I got the job done, but it's just shameful that quality control has gone to the point where they just don't care anymore. So anyway, back to it. I'm going to go ahead and finish cleaning up underneath, rinse out the oil pan quick, and pop that baby back together. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have brought you back for an old tip that I remembered after I had used a piece of cardboard. And that is, get one of your wife's disposable cutting boards and slide it up in there. And it goes right up in the hole. So you won't get any bolt droppage. Works really well. If your wife doesn't use these, you should tell her she should, because you just throw the things away if they get ugly. So that's a pretty good deal. And if she doesn't want to use them, that's okay too. Just go to the dollar store. Dollar General, pretty much all of them have them. Walmart has them. They're really cheap. You get a pack of, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 for less than $5. And they're good to have around. They're just a good little piece of plastic. Ain't nothing to them, just a flat sheet of plastic. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Oil pan is in, timing cover's on. Let's get a quick look while you're here, and we'll see how everything's set up in place, and hopefully I won't have to do this again. Let's see. Everything looks good up in there. She's all happy. I believe I got the right amount of goop right there in the corner. Both sides, beautiful. Timing cover's on. The dowel's actually lined up. The other side appears to be happy. So there we have it. Still have to address this little bitty leak right here at my transmission circulation pump. At the same time, I'll go ahead and I'm going to undo the filter. It is a cleanable filter, and I'm going to get a look and see for sure. Just make sure there's no metal shavings or anything in there. It all appears to be working just fine, so I'm happy with it. So we'll go from there. So in the meantime, as I said earlier, this is April the 6th, 5th. We have some more storms coming in tonight. They're talking 3+ inches of rain again. So hopefully I've got the flooding cured in the barn, and we'll be back to you soon. In the meantime, stay dry, stay cool, stay warm. Have a beer on me. Bye for now.